Call to order the St. John Waterworks District Board meeting. Let's start with the pledge of the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Roll.
Here.
Sims.
Here.
I'll try it again.
Here.
Gregory.
Here, yeah.
Wagorski.
Close.
Close, okay. Furtek.
Here.
Shaver, here. Approval of minutes. Looking for a motion to approve the August 21st, 2024 minutes.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Old business, we have none. New business. I'm going to kind of turn this over to the Public Works Director, Bob Vallis, to discuss the purchase of the Tri Creek Underground and costs of those projects.
Sure. So I was hoping Jackie would be here. I had this was all going to be on the computer monitors, but fortunately she is not. The first request, Tri Creek Underground, the amount of $32,085. We approved going across Park Place, getting under the road so the road could get paved. We did not approve the tying into the northbound by the church. So this is what that is. This is completing the 18-inch into what was originally already installed.
Okay, any questions on that from the board?
So this goes across the road and then it ties into an existing water main?
Yes. An existing 18-inch water main that was already installed years ago that needs to be completed.
Then the next item?
Tri Creek Underground, the amount of $148,120,000 for Klein. So we approved coming from Well House 9, which I believe you guys have the maps. Well House 9 to Klein, the outlot, which is outlot 9. Now we need to finish the from outlot 9 to the north to 105th, and then that line will be completed as well. Next one.
Any questions on this? Okay, next.
Tri Creek Underground in the amount of $145,580. This is for Larimer. We've had numerous water main breaks out there. This is to upgrade our infrastructure and also produce quality water for our men, women, and children of St. John.
Anybody have any questions on this?
Makes sense? Nope.
Next.
Core and Main, the amount of $25,967.82. This is for the bell restraints for the 18-inch that is under Park Place. I purchased the materials, so this is what this $25,967.82 is. This is for the 18-inch restraints and everything that's needed to assemble that water main.
Any questions? Next item.
Core and Main, the amount of $33,879.60. This is the piping and all materials for well 9. The line we discussed heading north.
Any questions? Next item.
Core and Main, the amount of $77,723.85. That is all the materials for the Larimer, Woodland, and 94th water main project I just discussed.
Any question on that? All right. The last item?
With Seal Masters. This is to Liquid Road, which is a thick sealant that we will apply on the water main projects that we did on Alcott Avenue. This is to aesthetically make it look better and also give the road a longer lifespan. And the amount of, could you read that amount for me, John? I don't have that.
$51,815. I have a question?
Yeah, on these projects though, is this money coming from the water budget or is it coming
This is all from the water bond.
from the bond then?
Yes.
Okay, so these are all sort of taken care of.
And as you know, the bond money has to be
Yeah.
spent, otherwise, we would have to start paying interest on that bond money that's left.
Have all the materials been received, or everything that you've ordered?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right,
And then if these get approved, I will make the order tomorrow.
okay.
And also by the town of St. John purchasing materials, we save money on that. There's no markup then from the contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So we can save some substantial money.
I don't think I've ever seen a liquid road
Yeah.
It's
come before us.
it's something new that I want to look into doing for possibly maybe future roads as well in town.
Yeah,
See if we can get a little longer lifespan out of these roads.
that'd be great.
How's that applied?
That is applied, it's like a sealant.
Just spray, like spray, they try and spray it?
Right.
Okay.
They'll crack seal and then they'll fill all the cracks and then they'll come and will pretty much like sealing the driveway.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's typically kind of laid out like a tack coat is, if you're familiar with that, when they do streets.
Okay.
They come in and spray the whole street. It puts oil back into the asphalt, because that's one of the things that happens. The oil comes out of the asphalt and starts deteriorating the asphalt. Being that we opened up the trench with roughly a 6 to 7 foot wide trench in it, and now you've got basically cold joints in that from where they asphalted over the trench. So this
Right.
helps seal that trench where the cold joints are in the entire road.
Have you seen it? Have you used it in the past, in your past?
We have not used it, but I have seen other municipalities that have used it, and it does extend the life of the road.
Good,
All right.
good to know.
Thank you, John.
With that, I'm looking for a motion to approve all these purchases out of the bond.
So moved.
Motion made, second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I have one more item I wanted to share with you guys. There's actually, do you guys have the drawing of Larimer, Woodland, and 94th?
Hang on.
So we are leaving off, we wanted to get Larimer and Woodland completed this year due to the fact that we want to pave that road before the asphalt plant's close. So there is a stretch on 94th that is still, it's 700 feet.
I think it's this one.
So there's 700 feet left to complete that area of Hilltop, Larimer, yes, Woodland. That's why I was hoping it was on the computer screen so I could show you guys.
If you can maybe just stand up, grab this, and
Sure.
show the board here what
Yeah, I got it.
I'm talking about there, because the streets aren't identified.
Yeah, you're on the right one. Okay.
I can read.
Borrow that. So if you look, we are going to start at Hilltop here. This is all C900 plastic pipe. This is all 4-inch ductile iron, and it goes to 6-inch ductile iron, And then down here is Belmont Ave or Court, whatever, Belmont Ave. There's water main down Belmont, new water main. There's new water main down 94th. Now there's gonna be new water main all the way here and just out of this cul-de-sac area. This is 700 feet to finish this whole area will be done. There will be no ductile iron, no cast iron, no 4-inch. It'll all be 8-inch brand-new water main. I got a quote on that also just before, so you guys could have a heads up. That's 140, I would be looking for not to exceed 140,000 for this to be done, installed as well. The only reason I brought this to your attention is because if we leave, mobilization and demobilization. So I'm leaving it in the board's hands if you guys want to act on this tonight, or if you do not, it's totally up to you guys. But I would really like to finish that stretch of 700 feet of old water main.
That's what, 18-inch?
This would be 8-inch.
8-inch.
New water main,
Okay.
yes.
And their price includes all the couplings along with the main
yes.
piece, all the connections?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And have you had very many leaks on that section of pipe?
We have, that's why I would like to see it leave.
How old is that section?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Old?
I've been here going on 25 years, it's been here longer than
The
I.
section before, the section before and after is good, right?
Right.
Okay.
What's the board's desire?
The funding from this, where would that come from?
That would also come from the water bond,
Water-
yes.
Now, to get the approvals and all that, will that be fast enough before the weather changes, or like you said, the shutdown?
Yes, I'll get it all done this year, yeah.
We can move forward without documentation as long as it doesn't exceed X amount of dollars. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Make sense to it now, I would think, just, we're there. Weather's good.
I would suggest that we appropriate monies not to exceed, Bob, what were you thinking this was gonna be?
140,000.
Not to exceed 140,000.
Mhm.
Forward with this, with the final contract modification or whatever to be presented in front of the board at the next meeting. So give the authority now to proceed and get that in motion.
Perfect.
Especially with the weather, we're at the end of September, so our window's closing here. So,
I would look for a motion on that.
I'll make the motion to approve the funding for this project not to exceed $140,000. The 8-inch water main.
Isn't it 145?
It's 140.
Okay.
So you looking for a second on that?
I'll second that.
Motion made in second. Under the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see, next item, payment of bills, consider approve progress payment to M&J Underground for the various water main replacement projects in the amount of $149,766.04. And authorize the clerk treasurer to issue payment from the 2021 water bond. Looking for a motion and a second.
Is this the last payment? Does anybody know?
I'll have to, I believe it is. I'd have to look
Okay.
and talk to Adam from McAlpine. There might be one more, only because I know there's one more project they did not complete. so there probably is another one after this. I'll get you that
Okay,
information.
thank you. I'll make the motion to approve the progress payment to m and J Underground for the various water main replacements project in the amount of $149,766.04, and authorize the clerk treasurer to issue payment from the 2021 water bond.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carried. Item B, accounts payable voucher dated August 21st, 2024, representing payment for payroll, supplies, services, and equipment rendered to the Water District. Total combined total of $33,828.77. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Item C, accounts payable voucher dated August 21st, 2024, representing payment for payroll, supplies, services, equipment rendered to the water utility for the town of St. John, in a combined total of $1,399,260.35. Looking for a motion.
So moved.
I will second.
Under the question? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Reports and correspondence. Robinson Engineering, project updates.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are in the final QA stage for the Kilkenny altitude valve. Should have that out to bid next month. That'll be good work over the winter. We do have some developments in the Well 8, Well 9 project. As you recall from last meeting, we were waiting on the permit from IDEM for Well 8. So IDEM called me the other week and said that they're anticipating some staffing shortages coming up, and they actually recommended that we get Well 9 in before some of their review engineers leave. So we came up with a plan. We're actually going to have Well 9 to them for review next Thursday, and then we can start to put together bid documents to bid both 8 and 9 together, as along with the piping improvements. So the water main that Bob was describing across Park Place, that still has to be put into the plant. So we'll bid those three as all one project. That is Well 8, Well 9, and the pumps into the pipe into the plant. So those are the two project updates. We are also working on a presentation probably at the November meeting for you guys to kind of go over what we've done recently on the capacity and what that's going to look like going forward. We did the media replacement that really eliminated the need for an additional plant for 8 and 9. And once those get up and running, we'll have some new capacity projections, hopefully all set. That includes my report.
Bob, any other reports?
I have nothing.
Town manager is not able to make tonight's meeting. Any discussion from the board members?
Yeah, I'd like to maybe try to figure out something out. To try to make sound financial decisions and just be transparent. I got an email today on a lot of the funding and everything with what's going on, and I think we need some clarification on this stuff. Do we need a study group or something on this, or something, so we sort of have an idea what our budget is and what's coming out of our budget and what's coming out of the bond and all this other stuff? It seems like we just, I don't know, I just need some clarification on some of this.
I would agree. What we can do is ask the clerk treasurer to see if she can come to our next meeting in October here, and we can have a discussion on kind of where we are with funding and where things are at, and how we're gonna look in the future of completing some of these projects, because, you know, I don't know if you've done the estimates yet on 8 and 9, but, you know, that's gonna be coming, and, you know, the bond money is, we're spending it like they wanted us to, so when 8 and 9 come about, we'll have to decide, you know, how we're gonna be funding that, and where that's going to, where those funds are gonna come from.
I mean, I know we're making right decisions on infrastructure and everything like that. We've talked before about a water increase. If we bring in this hospital thing and they want extra piping and all this other stuff, and all of a sudden, hey, wait a minute, people are gonna sit there and go, my water's going up and these guys are coming in, they'll probably get a tax abatement and all that, so we're gonna have to deal with that eventually. So I'd like to see where we're at on the funding, just to make sure we don't overextend ourselves or something like that and have to do something that
Sure.
we all don't wanna do.
Sure. And I can tell you guys that actually this morning, Bill and I had a meeting, and we did go through the water fund, and we looked at where we are going to possibly have to pull money to pay for wells 8 and 9. So we're already on that, and the water bond money, you know, we did use it like we planned on it. We used it. It was used for other things as well before first of this year. So the things that probably weren't on the original plan, but with circumstances like Acorn Drive, Acorn Court, that area over there in Acorn, when we had 11 water leaks in 2 days, that was something that had to be addressed. So therefore, that there was money used for those areas. So we did update our infrastructure. We did do everything that, you know, necessary that we had to do. But yes, we sat down, looked through the funding. We'll be okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, we wanna be
Sure.
transparent, so we know.
Sure.
We don't wanna, we wanna make the right decision.
Sure,
We wanna take care of
absolutely.
town,
So do we. I mean, the quality of water for our residents, number one, so absolutely.
Would it be best if we're talking about a rate increase potentially or something to get Baker Tilly in here?
Well,
To work
you know,
in concert with
I
Beth?
think before we get into a rate increase,
Well, which we
Well-
would like to avoid if at all possible.
Well, that's my whole point, is what we really need to do is look at what, not just today or tomorrow, but what's coming down 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Capital improvement program laid out of what we're gonna have to do as far as repairing our infrastructure or adding to it, or, you know, whether it's, whatever it happens to be, get that plan together. And then we can say, okay, based on what our fee structure is now, will we be able to sustain that? Will we be able to do those improvements? If not, what's priority first? And then are we gonna need to do a rate increase? If we do, you know, and then at that point in time, we would have the accounting firm, Baker Tilly, or whoever it happens to be at that time, if it is them, to look at that and say, okay, what are all your here's your needs, how could this play out? Because I think the last thing we want to do is increase a water rate that is, I'd rather do a small increase than wait 5 years down the road and have to do a large increase. You know, it's just too hard for people to manage that. A
Right.
smaller increase is much better if you do that, you know, so much per year. But before we even get into that, we need to have the plan of what our expenses are really gonna be and what our rate increase. But I think we really need to have the clerk treasurer come in and say, you know, really explain to us, that way we can ask questions of where are we at today, based on where our revenue is at. We can even have, if we need to have Baker Tilly in here for that too, we can, I can talk to the clerk treasurer and inform her of what we expect when we have our next meeting, so she's prepared. I don't wanna just, you know, catch her off guard or anything. She needs to prepare what we're kinda asking for.
Right.
You know, and then as far as some of the improvements, I know you had mentioned too about, you know, with the hospital possibly coming in here and everything else. you know, I'm a firm believer, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but if there's new development coming in, those expenses for infrastructure need to be paid for by the developer. If they need larger water main to come in, that needs to be paid for by the developer.
Yep.
Once it's installed and everything else, and the developer pays for it, you know, at that point, if it's on public right-of-way or whatever, then the town of St. John can maintain it and take ownership of it. But all the costs and everything should be on the developer. It should not be put on the residents of St. John. That's new, you know, any new development, housing development, whatever, should not be, that burden should not be put on the current residents of the town. You know, developers can either increase lots, you know, costs and everything else to pay for that, but that's on a developer. That's, you know, same thing with wells. If there's a well that has to go in to furnish a development coming in, that should be on that developer. We recently did that with the with a housing development there. They were looking for the town to put in a test well, and we said, no, you need to do that. That's part of your expense, you know, of development. So that's my belief.
And John, just to state, I just wanted to jump in real quick. The new developments that do go in, the infrastructure is paid for by all the developers. The hospital itself, when it's coming into something like where the water main's already there, yes. If there's upgrades or something that's needed, I
Right. But I think in the past, developers put it in, and then the town of St. John may have been reimbursing that developer for that infrastructure.
as the recapture fees or something.
Right,
yes.
and I don't agree with that, but,
Right.
because once again, that's
That's the
taxpayers'
past.
money or
Yeah.
rate money paying for that, you know, that's,
Right.
look, Mr. Developer, you wanted to put this in, you know.
The nice thing is, going forward, we can strongly suggest that.
Correct.
And the only other detail, double in the details, is the price of materials.
Mhm.
The way the world has gone, everything's up 20, 25, 30%.
Right.
It's hard to guesstimate projects when the people that are doing it don't know their cost of materials.
Right.
Well, they shouldn't be that far out on their
One would
estimates,
hope, but everything now is upside down. I mean, everything, so
And
I know they
think-
have a contingency, but, yeah.
yeah.
No, I think it's more important. I, myself, am just asking like where we are on balances and all that before we start looking at price increases and all. It's just, I don't want to get ourselves behind the eight ball down the line. We need to find out, what do we have here, what do we have here?
Next month.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if the board is okay, I'll talk to the clerk
Yeah.
treasurer and say this is kind of what we're looking at. There's no witch hunt or anything here, we just need to know where we are, so when projects come up, we want to make sure we have the money to pay for those projects.
Okay.
Any other board discussion?
Do we have to motion that or?
No.
Or no?
I got one.
No? Okay. Public comment? Any comment from the public? There is no comment. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made, second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and second to adjourn the Waterworks District meeting. Thank you.
I like our newest board member there with the plaid shorts.